Good morning, everybody. I'm your host, Felipe, and you're listening to the Baseball Life. You're listening from the Baseball Life Facebook group, and this is the Total Basis podcast on a wonderful Father's Day. I'm off to a great start so far. I already got some of my swag. I got this. Wait, hold on. For those who can't see, but I have a Bobby Hill. I don't know you. Self-defense T-shirt that I got for this Father's Day, so that's pretty cool. So you guys know King of the Hill is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. So now I got Bobby Hill kicking what's his face? What the hell's the bully's name? Oh man, I forgot already. Yeah, but he's kicking him in the nuts. So it's the whole I don't know you. That's my purse. So now I got this T-shirt to commemorate that moment in TV history. Also, I got myself, well, not myself, but my wife got me a Kingdom Hearts coffee mug. So I will be sipping my coffee from this mug this morning. And there's other stuff that I got, but this is the two things that I decided to wear. So, tastes even better on it. So we are underway, halfway through the season at the Baseball Life Facebook League. It's been a wacky one so far. The last time we did a review of our league was way back on May 3rd. My friend Leon Tompkins was of the Step Back Basketball Podcast was nice enough to join me that day. So I decided that, hey, let's take a look back since May 3rd to see what's been going on in the league since the last time we reviewed the league. And we start with, I don't know if you guys can see my screen, but I could double check on my phone here. It should be playing in just a bit. Oops, that's my voice echoing. But if assuming that this is working, there's three. There are 3 5-9 teams since May 3rd. At the bottom, it's Mario's team, Matthew Whelan's team, and Jets team as well. They've been not having a good time since the last time we spoke about these teams here since May 3rd. So we are going to talk about Mario's team first. I'm noticing the big delay here. All right, sorry about that, guys. So Mario's team is in dead last according to the standings, which sucks for him because he's the fantasy baseball expert. So you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and tag him just so you could see. Just so you can see that we're talking about his team here. So I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know. I know he's a very patient guy when it comes to fantasy. But yeah, he's near since May 3rd. He's been near the bottom of every single hitting category. And on the pitching side, I think all he has is wins and strikeouts, and everything else is just kind of lacking there. So let's take a look at his hitters here. There's Randy Arozarena. You guys see the score here. Not a single player over a 90 score. So what? This is, by the way, this is the Fantrax. This is all done through Fantrax. And I'm assuming that these scores, I don't know how they're calculating them, but I'm treating them like, like MLB, the show rankings or ratings or whatever. 86 is a pretty good score, but there's no 90, 95 player, not even a 99 type player here on this team. Still kind of waiting for Aaron Judge to, I guess he's been doing pretty well. 8 home runs, 18 RBI since May 3rd. And just so you guys can see, yes, there it is, May 3rd through June 20th. So Arozarena's his best player with the 7 home runs and a 6 stolen base net. 330 on base percentage is not that good for a player that's supposed to be at the top. But I mean, Mario will take any type of production at this point. Ryan McMahon has been a kind of a surprise as it looks like he's finally getting everyday appearances. So one of the big things with the Colorado Rockies was who the hell's playing in the infield, because they have like a million candidates. Ryan McMahon seems to always be at the top of the list, but the Rockies can never guarantee us playing time. Well, he's getting playing time now, and despite the fact that he's only hitting 245 with a 301 batting on base percentage, I should say, Ryan McMahon is Mario's 3rd best player since May 3rd. So I don't know how that's possible, but here we are. Ryan Mountcastle, who's been up and down this season, -2 stolen base net. That's not good. And then, Chris Bryant is having a resurgence of sorts this year. He's owning 100% of leagues, but for some reason he only has a score of 70.54. Not sure why. I mean, the 257 batting average since May 3rd is not. Yeah, that's I guess that's why it's down. Same thing with the pretty relatively low on base percentage. So I'm not sure what might have happened with Chris Bryant since May 3rd, but yeah, that Mario needed him to be at the top of the list, not midway through the list. And the rest of the players, JT Realmuto, who I still think is the best catcher in all of baseball, but uh, this 60.76 score, even for a catcher, is a little bit concerning. So there's a personal favorite of mine, Jazz Chisholm, who's gonna come down to earth a little bit since the last time we spoke about him. There's Adalberto Mondesi, who, if you guys saw the Baseball Life post from this morning, someone actually suggested that Mondesi was better than Tatis, except if Tatis would, what was it? If Tatis was the only reason that oh, what the hell was he saying? Something about Tatis not being injured all the time, so that's why. I'm sorry, Tatis being injured all the time, so therefore Mondesi is better. I don't know, not with these numbers. Yeah, the batting average is nice, the on base percentage is nice, but uh, the one walk per 10 strikeouts. There's no stolen bases. The one thing that Mondesi is good for is the stolen bases, and he has 0 stolen base nets since May 3rd. There's something going on. Oh yeah, and then he's been hurt this whole time as well. So the other thing that's crippling Mario a little bit is his 2 center fielders, Mike Trout and Byron Buxton, have been hurt for the majority of this time span. So we'll see what happens when everybody's fully healthy. Over to the pitchers, Clayton Kershaw, who's a very old 33 years old. I know I joke around that you got to take a player's age and add 2 years because that is his actual baseball age. Because what do I always tell Sean? 25 is the new 27. Well, 33 is the 35 for Clayton Kershaw, but for Clayton Kershaw, he's been pitching since forever. You might as well have him down as being 37 or 38 at this point. Still productive though. ERA is kind of high. The WHIP is decently low. Nice strikeout per walk ratio, but I don't trust him. He's just. It's foolish on my part, but I just I can't trust a guy who has that much mileage on his arm and has had a series of injuries to go with it as well. Uh, in his defense, it's not arm troubles; it's mostly like back issues and stuff of that nature. But it's still a little bit concerning that he's rapidly aging and he's just going out there with veteran guile and craftsmanship. So I mean that's admirable, but something that I can't trust. I can't, not in fantasy baseball at least. Aaron Savali making himself a nice season, but again, it's if Aaron Savali is like my 4th or 5th, 6th best starting pitcher, I feel really good about my team. He's my 2nd best pitcher, like he is in Mario's team. I'm a little panicking. I'm a little concerned, and this might explain why Mario is in dead last in the Roto standings as of today. 45 strikeouts for 59 pitches. No, man, that's not gonna do it for me. I can't do it. Julio Urias, my favorite Mexican left-handed pitcher, 48 strikeouts, 46 innings. That's a little bit better than the Savali line that I just gave you. But again, that's another. I think we talk about it all the time about the Dodgers. I don't trust them. Yeah, for real baseball, it's great the way they're developing their players and their pitchers. But for fantasy baseball, if the pitchers might be young and they might be full of what do you call it? Prospect pedigree and all that, and the stuff is there, but they have a tendency to kind of baby their players a little bit. So yeah, that's a tough sell for me. But good for him. But there's a reason why he's listed at an 85 and not higher. At least that's my hypothesis in all in this matter. Another guy, Zach Greinke, who's age 37, might as well be 40 at this point. Lots of mileage on that arm. There's another guy who knows how to pitch, very crafty, but the 39 strikeouts per 54 innings, that's not going to cut it. Only for a guy who's very has a lot of control or is known for his control, only a 3 strikeout per walk ratio compared to Clayton Kershaw, who's at 6.5 since May 3rd. Yeah, it's a little concerning. Yeah, even for a starting pitcher, you still want those high numbers. And 3 is okay, but if I'm getting a 3 from my 4th best starting pitcher, again, a little concerning. Jose Barrios, the enigmatic Jose Barrios, having a decent season, but again, the strikeouts are low compared to the innings pitch. it's commendable that Clayton Kershaw has more strikeouts than innings pitched. It's a little bit of a head scratcher that Jose Barrios isn't matching Clayton Kershaw in the strikeouts department. So and then there's James Karinchak. You guys, we talk about James Karinchak all the time. He's supplying the saves and the holds, so good for Mario. Same thing with Jordan Romano, supplying the saves and the holds. Not a blown save between the two of them. I'm not here to talk about all the players because that would take way too much time. Just wanted to point out the possible reasonings why Mario's team is somewhere near the bottom of the list here. Yeah, at a 98 roto points. Again, it's a win-loss league, but I like to look at the roto standings just because it gives me a good indicator as to how these teams are doing in terms of what do you call it? Overall production. Because sometimes it's kind of we go 3 and 4 days in our scoring period, so there's a lot of flukiness to it. But in terms of Mario, he has a lot of work to do. He has his work cut off for himself. He needs to do something to right the ship because now he's being mixed with Matthew Whelan, who I'm sorry, Matthew, I like you, bro, but yeah, you might have the worst team in this league. So let's take a look at Matthew's team now. There he is in 10th place on the roto standings with 135 points right here. Let's see. He lacks power. He makes up for it with strikeouts and high batting average. So to me, I think we talked about it last time. He lacks power, but he has a lot of punch and Judy hitters that kind of just slap the ball. It's like his team is how I imagine and envision it. It's a bunch of David Fletchers on that team. You guys know how I feel about David Fletcher. Pitching's really good. We talk about his pitching all the time, and it's living up to the hype there. So let's go ahead and sort it. But let's see here. There's Shohei Jaktandi. Let's go to Shohei Jaktandi on the pitching side as well. But let's start with the hitters. Again, same thing with Mario and Randy Arozarena, who only had an 85. Freddie Freeman, all-star stud that he is, 82 score. That's your MVP from last year. It should be high, way higher than that. It has to be. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, he got off to a slow start. But yeah, he's doing a little bit better since May 3rd. 272 batting average, 372 on base percentage. So that's what we're looking for. As I go ahead and tag Matthew to see that we're talking about his team. So Freddie Freeman's going to be okay. I'm a little concerned that his score is a little bit on the low side. Tim Anderson also on the low side at 79.49, 79 and a half. I know he was hurt for a little bit, but he did come back. Maybe it's because of the lack of power this year. Only 2 home runs. He's +5 on the stolen base department, so that's good. The 302 batting average with a 345 on base. That's weird. I don't understand why he's ranked so low, but would explain why Matthew's team isn't that good either. So Alex Verdugo, if Sean were here, he would tell you how much he loves the guy and how much he admires his game, and he's having a good season. At 280 batting average, the on base is a little low for a player of his caliber. That's okay, though. He's still learning on the job. He qualifies at all outfield positions, so that's a big plus for Matthew there. I just don't understand why he's ranked so low. But again, you're seeing a correlation here. When your highest scoring player is 82, your whole team struggles. We saw the bad numbers on the roto standings for Matthew Whelan, the lack of power since May 3rd, the no run production, walks are down. And I do think that the scores here might have something to do with it. Here's David Fletcher. Like, again, this is how I envision. If there was one player that would personify Matthew's team, it's David Fletcher. It's just a bunch of David Fletchers. 294 batting average, but low on base percentage. And let's see here. High batting average. Here we are. He's getting the 9 points for the batting average, but low on base percentage. There's the 5 points for the on base percentage for Matthew's trouble since May 3rd. Buster Posey. So we saw Real Muto at a 67 score. Buster Posey at 72, even though he's 34. And again, you add 2 years, he's probably 36 in baseball years. But he's having a bounce back season that we talk about all the time. The year off did wonders for the guy. 312 on batting average, 405 on base. What more can you say about Buster Posey that other podcasts and other people have not said about him already? So let's see. The guy here, Steven Duggar, only 25% owned for the Giants, having some sort of breakout of sorts. with the 6 home runs, 18 RBI. Strikes out a little bit too much for my liking, but hey, the stolen bases +4. That'll work anywhere, so good for him. Uh, how's Matthew doing on the stolen bases? Yeah, it's 8.5. So I'm not surprised with this team. You know, he has Starling Marte, even though he's 32 years old. Again, baseball numbers maybe 34, 35. He's a +7, so the speed is still there. At least at the very least, the opportunities for stolen bases are still there. So a lot of veterans on his team: Mike Yastrzemski, Justin Turner. So a lot of guys with safe floors, but not a lot of upside. And then the guy who was supposed to have a lot of upside, Alec Baum, for the Philadelphia Phillies, your third baseman, just massively struggling here. 239 average. That only 1 home run since May 3rd. That really sucks. So again, I don't want to talk about all the players because we'll be here all day. And but yeah, that's a little snapshot as to what Matthew is having to go through on his team. Now we saw that the pitching's really good. So Walker Buehler, he has 100 score. I mean, it's not the pitching that's letting Matthew down. It's the hitting and the inability to get players who could produce runs, and because he has the hit tool stuff down to a science. Matthew does. He just needs to up his run production game. I don't know. He needs to trade some of those maybe trade some of those stolen base guys and get some guys with more power and maybe some higher scores here. But on the pitching side, especially on the starting pitching side, he's solid with Walker Buehler, Kyle Hendricks, Jacob deGrom. Where he struggles is that it's unfortunately a very top-heavy team in terms of starting pitching. I know Spencer Turnbull's injured, and he still has him on the team. The bullpen's doing okay for him with Daniel Bard and Lucas Sims now looking like he's the new closer. Jake Diekman providing the saves and the holds as well, although he also provides the blown saves as well, as you guys can see here from Jake Diekman. Garrett Croquette also with 3 holds. But yeah, it's very top heavy in terms of starting pitching. It's like Buehler, Hendricks, and deGrom. And, with deGrom being hurt, that's why the score's so low at 89. But if he were healthy, I'm pretty sure he'd be closer to 100 than 90. But yeah, I think there's a lack of depth here. Jacob Junis is still on the team for some ungodly reason. 8.74 ERA, 2.029 WHIP. So yeah, Matthew, he has a good base here. He has a good foundation. If he just did a little bit more homework, a little bit more work, and just bolster that starting rotation, I think he'd be in a lot better shape than he is right now. But as of right now, as you guys can see, he's only 5-9 since May 3rd, sharing the bottom of the win-loss column with Mario and the next team that we're going to talk about, Jet, my buddy Jet from Milwaukee, from the Milwaukee area. He's a big Brewers fan. So let me go ahead and tag him down. There he is. Actually, there he was. Now he's gone. There he is. And I'm going to take a little coffee break here. As that's our second team. But I'm going to go ahead and try to multitask and set this up so we could see all the other teams. But let me go here. We're looking at Jets team here. Hold on. Let me take a sip. Suitors Velociraptors. I'll tell you what, guys, man, nothing like talking baseball and drinking coffee on a Sunday morning. Nothing quite like it. We are spoiled. I am spoiled, I should say, not we, because not everybody has a podcast on a Sunday morning like I do. So Suitor, actually, he's doing a lot better. Jet running a little bit to some bad luck here. The standings don't show it at 5-9, but he's middle of the pack, if not top 4, it looks like. Yep, top 4 in terms of the Roto standings. So if this was a Roto League, he'd be in really good shape. But let's take a look here. I mean, this is a rare combination, or at least I think it is, of singles and doubles being, in double digits in terms of the scoring here. He doesn't have triples, but he has the stolen bases, so that's always admirable. The batting average is good. The on-base percentage is not good, so that might be part of the problem, is that he's relying on batting average and not the on-base. Starting pitcher, however, there's your Waterloo right there. All the starting pitching categories like wins and strikeouts have let Jet down drastically. But the bullpen, he always has good bullpen arms. The saves are there. The holds are there. The ERA is not there, unfortunately, for him. He keeps the ball in the ballpark. Jets team does, but yeah, everything else is kind of it's a mixed bag. But yeah, the bullpen is probably, and we're gonna see right now that the bullpen is gonna be the one that's keeping him on above water a little bit. But let's start with the hitters, and right there, 91. Fernando Tatis Jr. I think last year he was closer to 100 than 90. Still a good score. Again, this is since May 3rd. But I think the injuries, I mean, you can see the little red flag. He's once again, that shoulder is bothering him. He's day to day. But yeah, if it wasn't for the injury, he'd probably be closer to 100. But here's where your problem is. You're according to this thing, Raimel Tapia is your second best player. When Raimel Tapia is your second best player, you're in big trouble. I know, kind of having a breakout year of sorts, but yeah, the 335 on base. I mean, this is Jets team in a nutshell. High on base. I'm sorry, high batting average, low on base percentage. Jets team is Raimel Tapia personified, and that's not good. That's not good. Raimel Tapia to bolster your depth, be a third or fourth outfielder. That's fine, but to be the second best player on your team, well, you can see why Jet has been 5-9 since May 3rd. So there's Teoscar Hernandez. We had a lot of what do you call it? High hopes for Teoscar Hernandez, and there it is. He's a solid 83, solid 83 score right there with the high on base percentage to boot. The one thing I don't like about him is he strikes out way too much. But you know what? Everybody's striking out too much, right? Adolis Garcia, that's another guy we talked about last month, I believe. I know Sean doesn't like him a lot. I mean, who could blame him with the low on base percentage? But hey, this is what you do when you get a guy who steals a lot of bases, right? That's a +6 stolen base net. That's good. That's really good, especially in our league. He has 12 home runs so that there's a power speed combo potential there at the age of 28. So kind of a late bloomer. Adolis Garcia is qualifies at 2 outfield positions, but that's the trade-off. When you get a guy who could steal that many bases, you are risking giving up a lot of skill, and there's your lack of skill right there with a 310 on base percentage. Jarrett Walsh, you could say that he's the reason why the Angels had to let Albert Pujols go from his gargantuan contract. But he's supplying the power right here. 11 home runs since May 3rd. But he's kind of gotten into a little bit of a slump with a 242 batting average and a 307 on base. Chris Taylor, Swiss Army knife that he is. Willy Adames, that's kind of now it's a homer pick. At the beginning of the season, it wasn't, but now it's a homer pick since he got traded to the Brewers. But it's a decent homer pick for Jet there, as he supplies a decent amount of power with 7 home runs, 13 doubles, still 47 strikeouts. That's a kind of a red flag there. But the 283 average and the 353 on base, that will fly anywhere. But here's the reason why, probably the big reason why Jet is struggling. When DJ LeMahieu should be, at the very least, the second best player on this team, and he's somewhere in the middle of the pack with a 73 score. That's 320 on base percentage. He got that big contract, and what, he got comfortable or something? Or maybe he's just off to a slow start. Who knows? It's hard to tell. But that's not, I'm pretty sure that's not what Jet was expecting when he, I forgot if he kept them. Oh, it would say right here, right? There's usually a little lock that says that he was a keeper. So he probably drafted him early. Oh yeah, he did draft him early, I believe. I think we talked about him because we made fun of him that he might have drafted him too soon. We make fun of Jets drafts every year, and then last year it proved that it didn't matter. This year it's hurting him a little bit than last year, but we'll see. We're only halfway through the season, so plenty of time to right the ship here. And that's you got the rest of the guys. Will Smith, I know that's a Sean favorite right there. Joey Wendell, who's having a decent season, but not sure how he's done with the playing time since Willy Adames got traded. I haven't been keeping track, but I mean, it seems like it's good enough. 297 average, 378 on base. Even if he plays part-time, at least the rate stats are taken care of there. And you guys can see the rest of the list there. Again, I don't want to talk about too many of these guys because we only have so much time to talk about these guys. And we got, 9 other teams to go. We always make fun of the Oakland A's because Chris Bassett is their ace. Yeah, the A's are going to win their division with Chris Bassett as their ace pitcher. But hey, it's working. It's working for them with the 3.09 ERA, the .926 whip there, and the 5.6 strikeout per walk ratio. Can you say Cy Young Award candidate for the American League? The 62 strikeouts with the 58 innings pitched. I'll admit it. I was wrong. I know these are stats from May 3rd. I'm not quite sure how they are in terms of year to date. But I mean, this is gonna fly anywhere. This would look well on any team. You would take the 96 score um, on your fantasies roster right now. Even on your real team, you'll take a Chris Bassett right now. I wish Sean was here to tell me more about the peripherals and the Statcast numbers. Unfortunately, he's not, so we'll just have to take the traditional stats at face value and say that he's a really good pitcher. Lance Lynn, also a really good pitcher. So yeah, I mean, he has the two strong guys at the top. Jet does with the 57 strikeouts, 51 innings pitched for Lance Lynn, minuscule ERA and WHIP. So that's not the problem. Adam Wainwright, I know that he just got picked up. He must have gotten picked up because I had Adam Wainwright for a while, and then he kind of self-destructed back in May, and then he kind of bounced back. So since May 3rd, he's actually looked pretty damn good. But like I said, I had him last year. He did very admirable, but this year he kind of shat the bed for me. So I dropped him, but Jet took advantage, and now he has Adam Wainwright on his team, solidifying that starting rotation. Alex Reyes, uh, the rate stats are not good, but in this league, he hasn't blown a save. He has 10 saves since May 3rd. You can't ask for better if you're an Alex Reyes owner. And the strikeouts will always travel. It's just that the control is a problem for Alex Reyes. But yeah, as long as he's getting those saves and it's not blowing any saves, I mean, what you can't complain too much. Just have to live with the low rate, with the awful rate stats, the bad WHIP and the bad strikeout per walk ratio. Corbin Burns, everybody's flavor of the month. What, back in April or May when he broke a record of sorts about having the most strikeouts without issuing a walk to start the season. He's come down a little bit, down to earth a little bit. Now he has 12 walks since May 3rd. What a bum. The WHIP isn't where he has to be. The ERA has risen a little bit, but that's okay. We're seeing that Jet has a pretty damn good rotation, so we're not gonna attack him too much on the rotation. There might be some injury concerns. The fact that Chris Bassett has pitched in 58 innings and Burns only in 39. Same thing with Ian Anderson. So that might be another issue. It might be some health issues since May 3rd. Why, and that might explain why Jet has been 5-9 since that time span. Matt Barnes, who I have in my points league, he's kind of a frustrating player to have. Has 3 blown saves since May 3rd, but ERA is respectable. WHIP is way better than Alex Reyes. Same thing with the strikeout per walk ratio. So good rate stats there. Victor Gonzalez, he's providing the hold. Same thing with Tyler Duffy. So it's a solid team, but yeah, again, it's lacking in some depth. There might be some injury issues. Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of pitchers overall. It looks like he's just depending when the top guys aren't pitching. Looks like Jet is just depending on bullpen games, which a lot of us have to do. But I feel like Jet is really leaning heavily on that strategy when there's not enough starts, because again, we change our lineups every Monday and Fridays. So the what do you call it? The availability on the starting pitchers is not always going to be there. So I could see why you want to rely on a lot of bullpen arms, but still, it seems like there's not a lot of starting pitchers at all on that team. So I don't know, just lacks depth. That might explain the 5-9 record since May. We move up. There's our guy, our fearless leader, Henry. Let me go ahead and tag him so he knows that we're talking about him. No, not Hennessy. It's Henry, also known as Life Group Difference. So we'll tag that as well. 6-8 record since May 3rd. I know he's vocally shown his frustration. He shared his frustration with us. So let's take a look why his team's so bad. Well, I mean, right off the bat, no pun. I mean, actually, yeah, pun intended. The offensive numbers are low. The only thing he has going is the walks and strikeouts. So he does a good job on getting the walks. Doesn't do a good job of limiting does a good job. Sorry, he does a good job of taking walks, limiting strikeouts. Decent stolen base potential. Decent amount of run production in terms of the RBI. But the batting average is lacking. The on base is respectable, but still, you look at the runs, singles, doubles, triples, home runs. It's pretty damn low. Let's move over to this pitching side of things. So I'm guessing he has really good starting pitching. decent bullpen, but not enough saves. And it looks like his closers have blown a lot of saves lately. But let's take a look at his hitters. And again, right off the bat, Cedric Mullins is your best player, which is respectable. It's admirable. As I take another sip of coffee here, bear with me, guys. Oh man, that's good. Geez. Leon Tompkins joining us. I didn't see this comment before, but Leon Tompkins vomiting at the Miguel Sano. I don't know when I don't think we talked about Miguel Sano, but somebody has Miguel Sano and Leon vomited. So I didn't see him, but I agree. Miguel Sano and his high strikeouts and his Adam Dunn approach to life. Happy Father's Day, Corey Richmond, chiming in this morning. Thank you guys for joining me. Again, I'm flying solo. I'm not sure what happened to Sean, but hope he's doing okay on this Sunday morning in Alabama. I know Alabama. I don't know. I thought I saw that they had some sort of weather issues. It might have been North Carolina. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, if you're having weather issues, stay safe and have this podcast on, as I will be entertaining you as best I can. Melvin also chiming in with the happy Father's Day, bro. Cubs fan from Nashville, Tennessee. He's been a friend of the show. He's been on the podcast before. He's been on the other podcast as well, Dong City in particular. I do apologize for the screaming baby. As you guys know, I am a father. So yeah, looking to wrap this show up as quickly as possible so I can go see what the hell is wrong with her. All right, Cedric Mullins again, admirable, but it's kind of concerning when Cedric Mullins is your best player. 95 score. Listen, 9 home runs, 8 stolen base net. That's pretty damn good. But if Cedric Mullins was your 5th or 6th best player since May 3rd, Henry would be doing a lot better. But as of right now, Henry's doing a good job of just treading water, staying above water, trying to, hold on to the rope and see when the other guys would pick up the pace, like Carlos Correa, who at a score of 90, he has picked up the pace, 9 home runs, 299 average, 420 on base percentage. Let's go. Carlos Correa, the trash cans are back. He's going to make the Astros great again, right? Francisco Lindor, he's kind of slowly but surely going back up, regression going his way. Still not where he needs to be, but the 7 home runs and 5 stolen base net, that's going to keep Henry happy for even though the production, the rest of the production isn't there up to Francisco Lindor's benchmarks that we've seen from him before. I'm sorry, Melvin, you gotta be specific. We're on a delay here, so you gotta tell me who's made the adjustment. You gotta be specific, bro. So Melvin's telling me someone made an adjustment. I'm not sure who it is. I'm pretty sure it's Carlos Correa, but we are on a delay. So on your comments, you gotta tell me which players you're talking about so I can address them. Correa is looking good. He adjusted his approach. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Again, we're in like a 2-minute, 3-minute delay, I've noticed, so I do apologize. That's a Facebook Zoom thing, so sorry. So we're not live all the way live. It's like TV, right? The TV broadcast, they're on a 7-second delay as well. So next time you see Janet Jackson at the Super Bowl, make sure your DVRs are running because you never know. You never know what you're gonna catch, right? Gene Segura is hurt, but Gene Segura, what the hell happened? It's like I thought Gene Segura's career was done and over and done with, but he's back and he looks better than ever. 31 years old, as I mentioned, in baseball age, that's maybe a 33 at this point, but still, he could still be dependent on the stolen bases, a 388 on base. I mean, yeah, this is a really good team. I just don't, in terms of the hitters so far that we're seeing, Gavin Lux is showing that he's for real. Michael Brantley, just the ultimate professional baseball hitter, 345 average, 395 on base. What more can you ask for from a Michael Brantley? Giancarlo Stanton, 374 on base. The problem with him is health. So yeah, that's another issue. Might be a big reason why Henry's team doesn't look as good at only 6-8 since May 3rd. But if Giancarlo Stanton continues to produce the way he's been producing, that might be trouble for the rest of us. Well, here's a problem right here, Jesus Aguilar. You need to might be time to cut bait. You can find a first baseman anywhere in this league. I know our league. our waiver wire isn't as strong as other people's waiver wires. We do have 30 roster spots for all the 12 teams, so that's a lot of players to roster. Therefore, our waiver wire isn't as strong. but I'm pretty sure you can find out whatever first baseman out there. But I don't know. There might be sentimental value as well. Yasmani Grandal, the 183 average is bad. The 414 on base is good. So let me double check something here. Yeah, low average, high on base. That's Henry's team right there. Henry's team is Yasmani Grandal personified. So congratulations. All right, so let's move on. And there's Anthony Rendon hurt, Miguel Andujar. It might be time to cut bait with him too. 270 on base. Just let it go, man. Let it go. Be like Elsa. All right, so we talked enough about his hitters. Let's look at the pitchers. Of course, Trevor Bauer at the top of the list. Carlos Rodon, who's not just gone for one no hitter, but he's also flirted with a second no hitter, which looks like he lost out recently. I know this because I have him on my team, and it would have been nice to get another no hitter, but alas. Herman Marquez, who we talked about a couple weeks ago, the last time I was with Sean, we talked about his struggles. Looks like he's slowly but surely trying to piece things together. Dylan Cease is kind of having a breakout year, but lately he's shown that he can struggle. That he still has some issues with command, so we'll see. We'll continue to monitor that. But in the meantime, Henry has himself a really good starting rotation. There's another Herman. So we got the Marquez of Germany and the Sunday German, Domingo Herman of the Yankees, having a bounce back season. I think Melvin kind of warned us about him. He's like, hey, look out for this Domingo Herman guy. He's in the Caribbean League. He's going to do some wonders. Speaking of which, Melvin has some things to say. Okay, so Henry Maldonado. Okay, so thank you for the insight. Henry Maldonado picked up Mullins late too. Nice pick. Save him from the basement for sure. Yes, he has. Melvin also says about Jesus Aguilar, Mr. Meaningless stat, and I couldn't agree with him more than I do right now. Sonny Gray also hurt, so that's hurting him as well. Jack Flaherty. So imagine Jack Flaherty and Sonny Gray. We have, with Henry's team, a really good starting rotation compared to the other teams that we talked about. But yeah, the injuries have just been riddling him all over the place. So kind of wondering to see where Henry's team would look like if it were healthy. The bullpen is a concern, though. -2 net saves for Giovanni Gallegos, but he does bring the holds. So you got to take the good with the bad here. Who's the other guy? Gregory Soto. I think he lost the closer's role in Detroit. He sucks, though. I mean, 1.5 strikeout per walk, 1.4 whip. These are all stats that we keep track of. So yeah, this is hurting Henry's team. So it's not just, who cares about these fancy mangy stats? No, these are scoring stats. These are the stats that we keep track of on a period-to-period basis. And Gregory Soto probably hurts Henry more than helps, despite the fact that he does come with holds and the saves. But I think Soto did lose the closer's role in Detroit, I believe. Will Smith getting jiggy with it. That's a solid choice right there. Only a 60 score. I don't know why. That's kind of interesting and peculiar. But yeah, he doesn't have a lot of bullpen. What do you call it? A lot of bullpen depth. So that's something that Henry might need to address moving forward. As if he had a little bit of a bullpen, I know that the starters are hurt, but Henry's not doing himself any favors by kind of ignoring the bullpen as far as those numbers go. And if there's other bullpen arms that he has, they're not showing up on the leaderboard there. So I don't know. Might be time to upgrade a little bit there. We move on now to James's team. James, he is comfortably in first. Actually, he's not. He's comfortably in eighth since May 3rd. Let's see here. 6 and 8, just like Henry. So where is he on the big board? Yeah, he's doing worse than Henry. Henry, according to the Roto stats, should be tied for fifth. And comfortably in first is somewhere in 8th or 9th place. So let's take a look here at James's team. James Handabode. Yeah, not a lot of power. No power, no RBI. Hey, does a good job of taking his walks, but he strikes out a little bit too much. Stolen bases are almost non-existent. The average is bad, but the on base is good. I wonder if we have another Yasmani Grandal situation going there. Starting pitching is middle of the road. Gives up too many home runs. Gives up too many on base. We do keep track. On base percentage is another stat that we use. The rate stats are bad, so I'm wondering if there's a lack of bullpen and just the pitching's bad. It's just in shambles. But we start with the hitters as always. And again, when Jonathan Scope is your best player, I understand it's since May 3rd, right? But when he's your best player, you're in trouble, man. I'm sorry, James. I admire you. I like you. Go check out his gaming Twitch channel. I forgot what it was called. I know it's related to something. It has something to do with Sly Cooper. Sly Cooper. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I got to tag the guy. Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus or whatever it's called. I know it has something to do with that, but yeah, go check it out. So Jonathan Scope is your best player, which is fine. 11 home runs, 319 average. So great pickup. If I'm assuming you picked them off of waivers, but that's not a good sign. Same thing with Robbie Grossman. He's your second best player. Again, we talked about him here on the podcast as a good stopgap player, outfielder, good fourth uh, get off the bench player for your fantasy teams to just delve in and fill in, sorry, for an injured player. But yeah, if he's going to be your second best player, you're in deep trouble. 351 on base percentage, that's going to travel. That's since May 3rd, but still, Odubel Herrera. I mean, this is Adam Frazier. This is basically, I messed up on the draft, and the waiver wire guys are trying to help me out here. Again, admirable, James. I like what you're trying to do here, but your keepers and your early round draft picks are letting you down, as you can see here. Xander Bogaerts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Your fifth best player. Again, that's pretty damn good. But Xander Bogaerts, somebody you probably drafted early on, he should be at the top of the list. Even though, again, it's since May 3rd, but still, that's not a good sign. And it might explain your struggles here. Trey Mancini, great story, coming back from cancer, producing. So there's a lot of see with James, there's a lot of and we saw in the standings and the roto standings that there's a lot of guys, middle of the pack guys, right? A lot of 80s guys, right? Compared to the other teams that we saw, it's like a couple of 80s guys and then a bunch of 70s guys and a lot more 60s guys. James has a lot of 80s guys, a lot of safe floor guys. But where's the upside? I'm wondering. Where are the upside guys? There's Brandon Crawford having a rejuvenation of sorts. Paul Goldschmidt, again, probably somebody that he drafted 329 on base percentage. I mean, he's been on a downward slope for a while now. Joey Gallo, I don't know, 9 home runs. That's pretty good. But for Joey Gallo, I want all the home runs, not just some of the home runs. I want double-digit home runs. You're also getting, also with Paul Goldschmidt, you're getting 4 stolen base nights. So that's pretty damn good. So I commend you for that. But the 208 average from Joey Gallo, Sean, if Sean were here, he probably, I told you guys, I warned you about Joey Gallo. He's not that good. I'll tell you, I reckon that the batting average was going to hurt you. And there you are. I told you about it. I warned you about it. That's my Sean impersonation. My Southern accent's bad. I do apologize. But that's what Sean sounds like to me when he gets on his high horse and it does his little victory laps, which we always encourage here. You know why we encourage victory laps? Because the haters are always going to tell us how wrong we are. So fuck them. So Luis Urias, a little bounce back here as he looks like he's solidified as a everyday player from Milwaukee. Kyle Seager. People were telling me about Kyle Seager being steady and reliable. Now with these numbers, no way. Same thing with Eugenio Suarez. I feel you, man. James, I have Eugenio Suarez and Christian Yelich in my points league. I'm off to a slow start as well. I finally scratched my way up to 500, but I'm struggling to win my game this week in my points league as well. So I feel your struggle. But yeah, basically this is the reason why James is like not having a good time right now. If his foundation players were picking up the slack, they would probably be at the top of the list, and James wouldn't rely so much on the waiver wire guys. So. But it is what it is. Let's move on to same thing with the pitchers. Luis Garcia is your best pitcher, another waiver wire guy. If Luis Garcia is like your 4th or 5th best starting pitcher, that's you're doing a good job. He's your best pitcher since May 3rd, however, you're in trouble because Max Fried isn't picking up. He's not living up to expectations. Sean Manaea is not living up to expectations. Aaron Nola is not living up to his lofty expectations. Same thing with Chris Paddock, who he showed up on our dirty dozen pitchers who have let people down this year. Even though the numbers are commendable, there's something lacking. There's a reason why he's at 79 and not at 90 like Luis Garcia is. I just can't quite put my finger on it. The strikeouts are decent, but it's not 60 strikeouts like Luis Garcia. I don't know. I can't quite. Oh, it might be the home runs. He's at 1.5 home runs per 9 innings, which is another stat that we keep track of. Raisel Iglesias, well, he's actually doing a lot better than I thought. So good for him. Jake McGee. We told him on the air, yeah, that this is the this is the advantage of being close with us and being in our league is that we will tell you who to pick up, even if it's against our own benefit. But we did tell James to pick up Jake McGee. When he showed up on our podcast, and sure enough, he has helped out immensely. Mark Melanson, well, that's gonna suck for him. 1.6 WHIP, 1.2 strikeout per walk ratio. So yeah, a big mixed bag here for James. There's some good things about it. I mean, there's a reason why he's kind of in the middle of the pack of things, but there's, I don't know. It's like I just see a guy who keeps shooting himself in the foot, or just I don't want to be too mean with the guy because he's a, I like the kid, but man, it's like you look at his team and it's like, where's the upside coming from, and how long before he has to start losing patience on some of these established players that he drafted or kept from last year. I mean, I feel you, man. I feel you, but man, it is what it is. I mean, it's not much you can do about it except keep waiting, I guess, at this point. Maybe make some big trades, but at this point, a lot of the guys that people want are gonna try to. A lot of the guys are gonna try to lowball you, so you might not have a choice but to stay put and wait it out. But we are halfway through the season, so there's plenty of time to improve. But at the same time, there's not a lot of time to improve. It's a hell of a catch-22. So good luck the rest of the season there. Melina Applebaum, who's Mike Harvey. Mike Harvey has been his team is going from doing a from last to first kind of thing. He's been teasing first place in the standings the last couple of weeks or so, but since May 3rd, he's looked pretty ordinary. I think he's now in the top 5 still, but he's been dropping in the standings every week, it seems like. So let's find out why all of a sudden Mike Harvey is struggling after getting off to such a great start. Okay, so lots of singles, so lots of triples, lots of stolen bases, but there's no doubles, no home runs, no RBI. I think we have a reason as to why Mike Harvey's been struggling lately. So you can only imagine the slappy hitters that he has on the team right now. So no power and lots of slap happy hitters out there. A bunch of Nick Madrigals on the team. You guys know how I feel about Nick Madrigal at this point. Starting pitchers okay with 11 quality starts, decent amount of wins and strikeouts. The rate stats are awful though, so I don't know what he has to do to address the rate stats in terms of pitching. But let's take a look at his team. Ozzy Albies again. If Sean were here, he'd probably be raising hell at this moment. How Ozzy Albies overrated. He's not that good, you guys. Again, that's my awful Sean. Again, my Alabama accent's not very good. I only talk to the guy every week, and it's still not a pet. Oh, we have some comments. I wasn't paying attention. Melvin, bro, in my family's league, we picked up our teams based on fandom. I'm dominating with the Cubs bullpen. Hey, take advantage, man. Gotta take advantage. Suddenly the Cubs have a good bullpen. Use that insider information to your advantage. But yeah, be wary of being full-fledged homers. You don't want to be that guy who has all the White Sox players on his team and his team sucks for whatever reason. Not that I'm talking about anybody in particular. Matt Bushnell, Football Life Podcast. All right, James, bro, I had a bad draft, and then everyone I actually drafted well got hurt. Yeah, I agree. Duffy was supposed to do so much for me and went down so early. I think he's talking about Danny Duffy. Aaron Nola is a major disappointment. We talked about him already. I'm just banking on my big guys coming back. Yeah, like I mentioned, I'm trying to make trades, but nobody's opening trades. That's the thing. And I wish Sean were here so we could talk about that. But yeah, it seems like, despite the fact that I talked about it already, our waiver wire is so thin because we have 30 players on every roster. So 360 players have to be drafted. But our waiver wire is so thin, you think that we'd be more open to trades and we can trade draft picks. But there's only been maybe a couple of trades, and they've both been involved. All of them have involved Sean Flannery, our co-commissioner, my co-host, who missing in action today. And I don't know why. I honestly thought that because the waiver wire was so thin and we had, the ability to keep multiple more minor leagues players than what I'm used to. We are able to hold on to 5 minor league players, trade draft picks. We have all these positions that need to be filled. We have all these starting pitchers that need to be filled and accounted for because we have a 12-inning pitch minimum that needs to be reached every week. You would think that more trades will be going back and forth, and it's quite the opposite. It's actually less trades. And I don't know. Maybe it's just the fact that everybody thinks that they have depth. Although we've seen some of these teams. Nah, bro. These teams need to make some trades like desperately because you're not gonna. The waiver wire is not gonna save you this year. Anyway, who are we talking about? Oh, Mike Harvey. Okay, Ozzy Albies. We talk about him all the time. Whit Merrifield, ageless wonder that he is, still 12 stolen base. Like Jesus Christ, he lacks home runs. So there you go. So wait, how's the average and stuff? Average, okay, yeah. Mike Harvey is Whit Merrifield personified. Whit Merrifield is where Whit Merrifield goes. That's where Mike Harvey's team goes as well. As I see, we got more people watching. Chris, wow, Chris from San Francisco. I think she's from San Francisco, waking up early to join me this morning. Happy, I was going to say happy Father's Day to you too. Why not? Sure. Yay! Only men should have Father's Day. No, I don't care. Whatever. I see her raise her son. She does a great job. Good job there, Chris. Dan Butler also watching, also from Nashville, just like Melvin. So thank you guys for joining me on this Father's Day morning. Trey Turner. Oh, that's another good player. I like him a lot. So yeah, if you're gonna be a Punch and Judy team with a lot, and you can see why Mike got off to such a really good start when you guys got like Albies, Merrifield, Turner. Yeah, I know I make fun of the guys with the slappy, happy go lucky nature with their bats, but if you're gonna produce like this, then yes, I admire your ability. Amer Rosario being relevant, something he couldn't do with the Mets. JP Crawford. I mean, Jesus Christ. It's a who's who of middle infielders out here. Carlos Santana, there's your power source. And when Carlos Santana is your power source, you're in big trouble. Mitch Haniger, a little bit of a homer pick. I know Micah is a Cardinals fan, but he lives in Eastern Washington. So I'm pretty sure the Mariners, he gets a lot of the Mariners games. So he watches a lot of Mariners games. Nelson Cruz is also on the team. But Nelson Cruz, something's wrong with Nelson Cruz. I don't know why, but his numbers look pretty good to me. But I don't know. If Nelson Cruz was the monster that he was last year, the Twins wouldn't be so bad. I don't know. Just my hypothesis there. Dylan Carlson, like I said, he's a Cardinals fan, but there's a little bit of a breakout year this year for Carlson. Jacob Stallings, well, there's your problem. Jacob Stallings as your number one catcher. That's not gonna be good. Let's see anybody else. Luke Voigt is hurt, so maybe that's the reason why there's a power shortage out there. So we'll look at the pitchers, and well, there's the reason why Mike Harvey has looked so good this year. Garrett Cole. Yeah, that'll what do you call it? Hide any problems that you might have on your team. Garrett Cole does a good job of hiding all your problems, sweeping them under the rug, and then poof, you look around and suddenly you're not in first place anymore, right? Austin Gomber, former Cardinal, a little bit of a homer pick there. He's actually been surprisingly good, despite the fact that he does pitch for the Rockies, although he's hurt now. What's wrong with him? Forearm injury. Okay, we'll see how that plays out for Austin Gomber there. Yu Darvish, Hugh Jin Ryu, so he has the Asian connection there. Cole Irvin, who's been a kind of a, I don't want to use the word godsend, now with 31 strikeouts and 54 innings pitched, but decent rate stats. I mean, the 4 ERA is pretty high, but the 3.10 strikeout per walk ratio for a starting pitcher is pretty good. Garrett Richards, it's time to give up on him. I saw him the other day. Who was he playing? The Braves, and he just cut bait already. It's done. Same thing with Zach Eflin. Although I wouldn't give up too easily on Zach Eflin, but yeah, I don't trust Zach Eflin at all. Aroldis Chapman, 64 score. I don't know why. That's kind of peculiar. Oh yeah, high whip. That's gonna suck for you. 2 blown saves. He's not as invincible as Yankee fans tell me he is. Corey Kluber, suddenly he's fallen off the face of the earth. Jake Hibbert, good morning. Thanks for joining us this Father's Day morning. Another Asian player, Kwang Young Kim. Suddenly he doesn't look as good as he did at the beginning of the season. So yeah, there's that explain. So there you go. This explains why Mike Harvey has struggled since May 3rd. The pitchers that he was relying on at the beginning of the season have just the reality slapped him right in the freaking face. So he needs to fix that. Let's move on to Leon's team. Leon over at the Step Back Basketball Podcast over at Basketball Life. He will appear on the show. Stephen Carey's on the show, listening in as well. Hello, Stephen, my longtime arch nemesis. Thank you for the win last week. I know you guys were running your celebrations on my behalf, not my behalf, sorry, at my expense. But I'm still laughing. Still got the last laugh. Smoking Aces. There's the Max Scherzer logo there. Leon Tompkins, 8-6 since May 3rd. And yeah, he's been kind of creeping up on the standings as well of late. Although I'm pretty sure if it were up to him, he'd be in first place. But there you go. So this is the complete opposite of what we talked about some of the teams where, like Henry's team shows, according to the Roto standings, shows Happy Father's Day to you too, Stephen. Thank you so much. Henry has run into bad luck and injuries with his team. And the numbers don't show that, at least the win losses don't show that he should be. It should show that he should be better, but based on the Roto standings, but it is what it is. He's 6-8. This is the opposite of that. Leon Tompkins, in the 11th place according to the Roto standings, but it does enough to stay above 500. So let's take a look. Yeah, so the home runs are there, the RBI are there, but everything else is not there. So there's your three. Well, I was gonna say three true outcome hitter there, but the walks aren't there, and he strikes out a lot. So there's a lot. He's giving up contact for power, and he's okay with the strikeouts, but he doesn't take a lot of walks. There's no speed to speak of on this team, despite the fact that he does have a lot of triples. So yeah, and the on base percentage is bad. The average is surprisingly good. Huh, that's weird. Well, let's look at the pitching. Yeah, not enough wins. Middle of the pack in quality starts. Strikeouts, yeah, it's okay. But the strikeout per walk ratio, not okay. Middle of the pack in saves and in saves, yeah, middle of the pack. Holds, I'm not surprised because I remember having him on this show before, and he does a really good job. He does a really good job of keeping track of the bullpen arms who are going to get all the holds, and I'm not surprised he's at the top of the leaderboard. Unfortunately, he's what he has in saves and holds, he lacks in the rate stats. So let's take a look at this team here. And right off the bat, Marcus Simeon's your best player with Jose Altuve. I mean, that's not too shabby, man. Jose Altuve having a bounce back year. So you can say what you will about the guy, or hey, maybe the Astros are using another discreet way of cheating and getting pitchers to tip their pitches, and cameras and lasers and smartwatches are involved. I don't know, but you can't bash the results. I mean, 3 total average, 386 on base, and you match him up with Marcus Simeon. I can see why Leon is in first place. The stolen bases are not there though. So I'm used to seeing these guys steal more bases, but as you can see, they're giving up the speed for the home runs. So that might be part of Leon's problem there. As to why the Roto standings are not showing a consistent team. There's Charlie Blackmon, still relevant. So I believe Sean called that one. This is great. 18 walks, 18 strikeouts. But still, this is not. We saw the standings and the offense is kind of sputtering. Here's a reason why. Josh Donaldson. I think the age is catching up to him. Once again, the calf muscle. Josh Donaldson, Jesus, man. Lay off the steroids. No, I'm joking. I don't know if he's on steroids or not, but so that's a little joke there. Don't sue me. Dansby Swanson, yeah, that's not gonna cut it. I don't know why Dansby Swanson's on any fantasy team. Same thing with Eduardo Escobar. I warned you guys about Escobar. Don't do it. Don't draft him. Not worth it. Leon does it anyway. Josh Bell, that's been a major disappointment. If Josh Bell could just do a little bit of what we think Josh Bell can do with his big ass frame and the potent power, Leon will look a lot better. But these are the results. Yeah, this is not good. Again, Tyler O'Neill, same thing. There's another guy who gives up the contact for the power. So basically, Leon's team is Tyler O'Neill. Nice pickup with William Contreras, but yeah, he's come down to earth a little bit. Let's go move over to the pitchers. Wait, who's hurt on this team? Marcelo Zuna. Oh yeah, Cody Bellinger. So yeah, Leon will probably tell you that the reason his team is struggling is because Cody Bellinger and Ozuna and even Jorge Soler are struggling or are hurt at the moment. So I mean, that's reasonable, but yeah, I don't know. It's a weird team to look at. Let's look. Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, there's your Waterloo right there. Leon's top 3 starting pitchers are all hurt. Shane Bieber, Tyler Glasnow, Max Scherzer. So they're all down. And even then, Bieber was struggling with the 1.46 whip. Is it because he no longer can use sticky stuff? We'll see. I don't know. It's not looking good. Not looking good for Leon right now at the moment. So with those 3 guys injured, who becomes Leon's best pitchers? Kyle Gibson, Patrick Corbin. There's 2 more guys who are down: Steven Matz, Matthew Boyd. So that means it's Johnny Cueto time. So yeah, the injuries are starting to really affect. And the bullpen with Chad Green and Jose Alvarado, like I said, Leon does a really good job of figuring out which relief pitchers are going to pick up the holds. But unfortunately, with a guy like Jose Alvarado, the ratios are going to struggle. The whip and the strikeout per walk ratios are really bad. Michael Fulmer, oh boy. Oh, Leon, do better, brother. Do better. Yimi Garcia blew up a couple of saves last week. I know that's because he's on my points league, but other than that, he's done a really good job. Just like Sean and I predicted correctly on the show a couple months ago. Ian Kennedy. Yeah, that's Leon. So the pitching's in shambles, man. I don't know what you can do to fix it. Maybe make some trades. I mean, you got a lot of depth at middle infielder. It might be time to start trading some guys and see if you can get some pitching help, get some pitching depth for yourself. Who is next on the docket? Oh my God, is it little Sean Flannery? Little Sean Flannery time. All right, Mad Dog Magical. So where is he in the standings? Let's take a look really quick, but let me just set this up for all of you guys. And Sean should be somewhere at the top of the leaderboard. There he is. Oh, he's in fifth. Only 8-6 since May 3rd. I feel like, well, all right. We'll take a look. 8-6. That's interesting. And let me tag him as I'm going to talk about his team. So despite the fact that he's second in the Roto standings, Sean is only 8-6 since May 3rd. So that's very peculiar. Let's take a look. Because when we saw his team, his hitting looked otherworldly. Like Leon and I were looking at his team and we're like, holy crap, we're all in deep shit right here. We're in deep trouble because his team's just loaded. But now I'm kind of wondering, So the single, okay, doubles are there. Okay, there's your problem. See, Sean, when you fall in love with a bunch of slap happy hitters, your power is going to struggle, and there's your struggle right there. Dead last in home run. He's the second to last in RBI. And for a guy who has a lot of slap happy hitters or admires these slap happy hitters, he's at the bottom of the list in average. But everything else looks good. Everything else looks respectable. Let's look at the pitching now. Oh yeah. The closers are there. I know he took a lot of what people would think was some, I would say some risk, not a lot of risk, but a decent amount of risk. A lot of trusting on guys who he was looking for them to bounce back this year. And you're going to see Craig Kimbrell comes to mind as the big bounce back here. Strikeouts are at the top, not surprising. I mean, Sean does a really good job of evaluating pitchers, I believe. I mean, no bias here, but I not because he's my podcast partner, but just because he does it. I mean, if you listen to him every week, he does a really good job of breaking down the starting pitchers. I mean, quality starts are up, strikeouts are up, wins are up, everything is up. The one thing that sucks about him are the holds. So, yeah, he's content with just getting his bullpen guys to just close for him, and he'll punt the holds category. So oops. Why? Oh, there it is. Okay. So we took a look at his team from before. I know Kyle Tucker. When Kyle Tucker we talked about Kyle Tucker as being the guy who's been letting Sean down on his team, and he's the best player. So, I mean, this team is loaded. Shohei Ohtani is your second best hitter on this, what do you call it? On the Sean team here. Mad Dog Magical. Jose Ramirez, Mr. All Reliable, still producing like only he can produce, although he is kind of hitting a lull here with Yoan Moncada. I have Yoan Moncada in my points league, only 2 home runs. Yeah, that would explain why. So yeah, Sean, let me see here. Sean is Yoan Moncada since May 3rd. 424 on base percentage. So that's pretty good. But like I said, I have him on my points league, and the lack of power is really it shows in that league. But here, I guess it's good enough for this league, and he is the fourth best player on the Sean team here. Mad Dog Magical. Pavin Smith, that's a guy that he talks a lot about. He's kind of coming down to earth a little bit, but decent player. But yeah, I have him in my points league as well. I dropped him because he wasn't doing anything for me. Yordan Alvarez, he was hurt for a big chunk of this time, so that's why he's not at the top of the list. But don't let that fool. And he now qualifies at left field. So if you want, for those who have only been frustrated with only having Yordan Alvarez as a designated hitter, you're in luck now. He's now listed as a left fielder, so now you can utilize him at that position. 368 on base percentage. Yordan Alvarez is so damn good. He's just the best. Josh Rojas, it's another guy, player that Sean talks about a lot. He's tried to do the best he can with the playing time he's been given. Matt Chapman. Oh, so somebody gave up on Matt Chapman again. Well, Matt Chapman is on the Sean team, so Sean is waiting for him to regress back to the all-star form. So we'll see if that happens. Nate Lowe. No, sorry, Nate Lowe. Nate Lowe. Yeah, he got off to a really good start, but now he's coming down to earth. Nick Madrigal. That I mean, so no, you're not gonna find a bigger fan of Nick Madrigal than Sean. He's not a White Sox fan, but he's a big Nick Madrigal fan, and he's off for the season. He just acquired him in a trade, which I thought was a really bad trade for. I believe he traded with Andrew O'Sullivan. I thought O'Sullivan could have done a lot better in that trade, seeing that Sean is a big time Nick Madrigal homer, and in the end, Sean probably didn't get a chance to use him because he immediately got hurt and lost for the season. So Trevor Story is struggling. We talked about him already numerous times. So we're just kind of waiting to see if he gets traded to a better team and he starts producing on a better team and gets away from that toxic environment in Colorado. Let's take a look at his pitching. There it is, Craig Kimbrell. I told you guys. Sean is just happy with Craig Kimbrell producing and just getting saves. He has one hold on this team. That's Christian Javier. Wow. Trevor Rogers, he's been a godsend this year. Major breakout year. Sean called it. He told you guys about him. There's another Sean guy, Freddie Peralta. He told you guys about him as well. I know I picked him up in my points league, and he's paid off dividends. He almost got that no-hitter a couple of weeks ago. Frankie Montas is your fourth best. A lot of 90s guys here. Guys, look at this. This is what a team should look like. Lots of 90s. Yoshi, you say Kikuchi, I say Kakachi. But yeah, Kikuchi still... I gave up on him a long time ago, but Sean was like, "No, I'm not giving up on Yusei because I believe in Yusei. I think he has good stuff. He has that sinker two-seamer action going, and sure enough, he's paid dividends for the guy. And wow, this is a hell of a rotation. Look at all these 90s guys. This has to be the most 90 scores I've seen so far. So it's amazing that he loses any games. Sean does. Robbie Ray, I know lots of people laughed at the fact that Robbie Ray gets paid all this money to be mediocre with the Blue Jays, and that's why people didn't believe in the Blue Jays because of the what seemed to be mediocre pitching. But I always thought, I told these guys, like, if there's a lot of okay, so the pitching's not where it's at, but you got Hyun-Jung Ryu at the top of the rotation, and Nate, this is the beginning of the season. Nate Pearson, if he lives up to expectations, that's another guy that the Blue Jays could depend on. That's if he lives up to expectations, but it's not fair to kind of on a rookie. But the real what do you call it? The game changer of this would have been Robbie Ray, and people laughed at me when I said that. And sure enough, Robbie Ray's a game changer. 3.81 ERA, 1.135 WHIP, 7.7 strikeout per walk ratio, 77 strikeouts and 52 innings pitched. Like, geez, Robbie Ray will look good in a lot of fantasy teams right now. But no, Sean always had an eye for Robbie Ray. He stuck to his guns, and now he's reaping the benefits. Tyler Mahle, I had him in my points league. I finally gave up on him, and I might have given up on him too soon. So Nathan Ovaldi, same thing. I had him on my fantasy, on my points league as well. I might have given up on him too soon. So yeah, Kenley Jansen still showing that he's never going to give up the closer's role in Los Angeles. I mean, I can go on this team. It's just a really good team. So a lot of bad luck with Sean's team. That's why he's only 8-6 in the last since May 3rd. And we talked about Andrew's team. And speaking of which, let's go now to Andrew's team. Big Dinger Energy. Big Dinger Energy. That's what do I call him? My favorite Irish Mets fan out of New York. Where is Oh, it's okay. So he's middle of the pack in the Roto standings, but how's he doing in the standings since May 3rd? Yeah, 8-6, just like Sean is. So is Andrew's team as good as Sean's team here? We're about to find out. How are we doing on time? Okay, we're doing pretty well. I think I could finish this in the next 30 minutes. We usually go 90 minutes anyway, as much as we like to do 1 hour. We just have so much information to give you guys, so we try to be just throw everything at you in the kitchen sink. So I hope you all appreciate it. If not, well, you're losing out because we give all a lot of information here. Okay. Unlike Sean's team, lots of powers, doubles, triples, home runs, all at the top of the leaderboard. Stolen, and he provides the stolen bases as well. So the offense is not the problem here with Andrew. It's the pitching, right? Near dead last in quality starts. Dead last in wins. Bottom of the pack in strikeout per walk. The bullpen's pretty good, but he lacks holds. and the race stats are just god awful in terms of the pitching. Andrew, what the hell are you doing? But let's look at the hitters first. Then Matt Olson, Bo Bichette. I mean, these guys, they must be listening to me because I have both of those guys on my points league. So yeah, I appreciate that. I don't appreciate Andrew. I appreciate Matt Olson and Bo Bichette producing for my team. Bo Bichette producing lots of points despite the low on base percentage. But so sometimes we overthink stuff like this. Hey, Corey, how's it going? We overthink stuff like this. Oh, well, the guy has low on base, so he can't be that good. But Bo Bichette he's so explosive, and I just don't understand why his on base percentage isn't higher than what it shows right now. But he produces even in points leagues, and not just produce, but he'll explode. Like he's carried my teams before. He scored 11 points several times in the last couple of weeks, and that keeps me above water in my points league, and it's probably keeping Andrew above water in this league as well. So hold on a minute here. My coffee tastes good because I'm like, Kingdom Hearts, man. It's magic. Kingdom Hearts. Look at this, man. Look at this. There's the Keyblade. There's the Heartless. There's There's Mickey Mouse. The Mickey Mouse symbol. Oh boy. Let's talk some fantasy baseball. All right. Austin Meadows. Again, same thing. 326 on base percentage, but he has a score of 90, according to Fantrax. Tommy Pham, another guy I have on my points league. So Andrew, man, I really love your team here. Marcana, Isaac Kiner Falefa, who, geez, man, he's been a godsend. Man, I totally missed the boat on Isaiah Kiner Falefa big time. But there's a major blow right here. Alex Bregman out with the what the hell's wrong with him? Oh, the quadriceps. Oh boy. Okay. Well, Nolan Arenado, unfortunately, now he has to count on Nolan Arenado, which we warned him at the beginning of the season. Don't do it. You don't need 2 third basemen, especially a guy like Nolan Arenado, who is notoriously has had awful road home splits. And the 309 on base with the 268 batting average. We try to warn you. Also, the reason why I don't trust the Cardinals, I mean, as I mentioned back in March, the Cardinals always look good on paper, but for some reason they don't have it together. Their bullpen is always up and down. Their starting rotation, it's not durable. It's not a formidable starting rotation, even with Adam Wainwright at the top. And their hitters are all over the place. Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado are your 2 best players, and we just talked about Paul Goldschmidt struggling since May 3rd. Arenado also struggling since May 3rd. That's why I didn't pick him to win the division, despite the fact that their team looks really good on paper. I went with them. That's why I voted for the Milwaukee Brewers, right? Anyway, Rhys Hoskins also struggling. Garrett Hampson struggling. Okay, so this team is very top heavy because everything else sucks about this team. Ketel Marte, since he's been back, he's been very productive. But everything, Trent Grisham. Oh, Jesus, Andrew, stop copying me. There's another guy in my points league. Look at that. So this team has been offensively carried by a handful of players. He's lacks a little bit of depth, but he's also counting on some guys getting back from injuries. So we'll see how that goes. Let's look at the pitching. I think, Sandy Alcantara, I like him, but when he's your best pitcher, I don't think he's an ace on any fantasy team. Number 2, number 3, absolutely. Your number 1 guy, no. Charlie Morton, again, when he's your number 2, you're in deep trouble. I just couldn't trust him. I couldn't trust them in drafts, at least not as high as he was going. I can't trust him as my number 2 guy on this team. Alex Wood, another guy I had on my points league, I finally had to drop him because he's just been really bad lately. Actually, I think I might have had him in this league as well, but he's just been really awful lately, and I don't know what the problem is. It seems like maybe the league made an adjustment. I don't know, but he's not looked as good as he did at the beginning of the season. James Caprillian. Sorry about that. Butchering names here. That's what I do best. 2.47 strikeout per walk ratio. It's good, but it's not great. Luis Castillo. Oh, there's your reason why his team sucks so much. And he talked about it before Andrew did, and we talked about we talked about Luis Castillo ad nauseum on this podcast. Season 2 of the Total Business Podcast. We might have just rename it the Luis Castillo season, because that's all we do around here is just try to figure out what the hell's wrong with Luis Castillo. And at this point, unfortunately, it's a keeper league. You're kind of committed to him. Because you're not going to get fair value for him in a trade. Unless you're content with just getting a bunch of mid-round, maybe to late round draft picks for him. But Yeah, you're not gonna get anything from him at this point. He's just so bad, and guys like me are not doing you a favor by talking really bad about him. Brad Hand, I mean, he's a decent closer, but he's not the best closer. I mean, high ERA, 2 blown saves since May 3rd, only a 2.6 strikeout per walk ratio. When we've seen closers put up big numbers, way bigger numbers than that. Here's the tire that has gone flat. John Means. That sucks for him, man, because John Means was having a stellar season so far, and he was helping Andrew kind of offset Luis Castillo's struggles, and now he's out for a while. Blake Snell has sucked. There's another guy who's letting what's his face Andrew's team down. Lou Trevino for this is a bad bullpen, bad pitching staff, bad everything. Hector Neris, I mean, come on, man. There's some tough choices that poor Andrew has to make at this point. He needs to start figuring out. The bullpen arms, except for Brad Hand, he could start swapping them out right now because they're not doing him any favors at this point in terms of the ratio stats and even the counting stats like saves and holds. There's nothing here. It's not worth it. So, and as far as the pitching, I don't know, man. I don't know what you do. Pitching is such a limited resource that it's a tough sell. So with the 8-6 record since May 3rd, I can now see that Sean has struggled with some luck, and especially how good his team is. He has struggled with some luck, and Andrew has just been lucky. So he's we can all use. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, but Andrew's team. I'm sorry, dude. I like what you're trying to do here, but I don't think it's sustainable for the long haul. So you need to make some changes to keep that ship floating above 500 for the long term. The defending champ, Erin from Toronto, also 8-6. She was been struggling. She's been making that climb, trying to get to first place and just constantly falling short. Whelan has a comment. My little brother played with Caprillion in the Little League. Oh wow. That's pretty cool. That's a nice little tidbit. I didn't know that, but Matthew out of California. I mean, lots of players come from California, so I'm not surprised. So unless he tells me that he actually grew up in Utah or something, but I don't know. Oh boy, that's some good coffee. All right, Chick Stick the Long Ball. Aaron, defending champ. Why are you only 8-6? 3-game winning streak. Continues to fall short in trying to get to first place. She's third place in the Roto standings. Let's find out why. Pretty decent, although the RBIs aren't there. She strikes out too much. Not a lot of stolen bases. Batting average and on base is awful, considering how good the team is. So the offense is not as good. What about the pitching? Lots of here's the problem right here. So she does a good job of staying above water, being middle of the pack, just does enough to do a good job to stay above and afloat. So Matthew, thank you for confirming. He's California born and raised, but not. Although he has recently said that he's moving soon, so I'll let him spill the details on that one. I won't steal his thunder there, but congratulations, my brother. So Aaron does enough to just stay above water. Really good strikeout per walk ratio, but and she gets the wins as well. But there's nothing much else. I'm trying to see if there's if she kind of has a limited amount of upside with her pitchers. But let's take a look at the hitters. And here's a big reason. Mookie Betts was a big, integral, major reason why she won the championship last year. I think I told Sean, hey, when your best players are showing up at the most important time of the year, that's going to win you championships. This is the complete opposite. Mookie Betts still a respectable 85, but we've seen this guy. He was one of the best players last year, along with Fernando Tatis. And the 370 on base percentage is pretty good, but the 254 average, we expect more from Mookie. The 2 stolen base net, we expect a lot more from Mookie. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe he's pacing himself after doing what he had to do last year to help the Dodgers win a World Series. But yeah, that's a struggle. Also, the other problem is not to disrespect guys like Brian Reynolds and Jake Cronenworth and Tommy Edman, but when they're your third, fourth, and fifth best players, that's a problem. They should not. I mean, Jose Abreu should be the second best player on the team. He's your fifth best player. So, and again, this is since May 3rd. So, I mean, that plays a role in it. But yeah, this is Yeah, when Brian Reynolds is, I mean, yeah, this is respectable. 406 on base, 310, but Brian Reynolds, that should not be your second best player. I mean, and that's your reason why Aaron's team is struggling on offense since May 3rd. And not to disrespect Brian Reynolds, but Brian Reynolds should be a complementary piece, not your core player. So, I mean, that's just my opinion on it. But I mean, the numbers don't lie. I mean, this is not good. These are not good numbers on the standings, and that's why, like I said, she does enough to just stay above water. But it's like there's. I had a feeling that there's limited upside on this team. So, and I can hear her say, "Well, I'm a two-time champ, so I must be doing something right." Okay, well, we're talking about 2021 here, so. Like she's Aaron is a Blue Jays fan. She's become a Yankees fan. Well, like that's their thing. That's like, oh, pish posh, the queen is here. I am a two-time champion. Okay, well, right now Brian Reynolds is your second best player, and that doesn't look good. I'm sorry. Decent players, but I'm just saying from a roster building standpoint. Oh yeah, I gotta tag her. From a roster building standpoint, that's not good. At all. So, but we've seen I mean, it can't be done. We've seen people just survive uh, on just making really good waiver wire pickups, and I'm pretty sure that's what Aaron did, and I know that's what Jet does every single year. So we'll see if this strategy works out. But yeah, this is why I have a problem. Tommy Edman is your fourth best player. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he only has a 274 on base percentage. That's what I'm talking about. Jay Cronenworth is your third best player. Only at 343 on base percentage, no stolen bases, and a solid 80 score. But yeah, there's holes in his offense, and the numbers since May 3rd show it. Jose Abreu, your fifth best player. Salvador Perez has been everybody wants to every year. Sean poo-poo Salvador Perez, and all he does is produce. Even in this league, I mean, 78.8 score in a league like this that accounts for on base percentage. I mean, we need to stop. Actually, but Sean needs to put some respect on Salvador Perez's name. So, Adam Duvall, Adam Duvall. I don't like Adam Duvall. I never did. Nice power, but I'm not depending on him to carry my team. But unfortunately for Aaron, he is at the top. He's like at the top, the first half of the offense. So she's depending on Adam Duvall to carry the offense, and it's not working. Jonathan India has been a godsend for her, helping her stay above water. So we'll see. He was we talked about him before, former highly touted prospect, kind of fell off. The buzz of him kind of fell off, and now he's kind of bouncing back. But yeah, Brandon Lau is struggling. Yermin Mercedes is the carriage has now turned into a pumpkin. Brandon Belt, I don't know why he's ranked so low. Oh, I think he was hurt. I'm not quite sure. Ty France is also ranked pretty low. Although with Seattle, I don't trust any Mariners players, man. I think they have too much depth on that team, which is really weird to say about the Mariners. I'm talking about like they have a lot of pieces that they can move around. They're not good pieces, but pieces nonetheless. And we all know about their not their bullpen, sorry, about their prospects that are coming up soon. So that's gonna be a thing. Will Myers, Brian Hayes, Mike Moustakas. You could see why Aaron's team is struggling on offense, but the pitching is what's keeping her above water. Like I said, she does enough to get by and be respectable and be a real threat to the rest of us. Brandon Woodruff, I mean, come on, it's Brandon Woodruff, also on my points league, so I respect that. Pablo Lopez. Someone listened to me when I was talking big about Anthony DeSclafani when others were poo-pooing that idea. Aaron, little earworm, I got to her. And if I didn't, I'm taking credit for it anyway, because I did mention this on this podcast. Hey, look out for Anthony DeSclafani. He's going to be really good. He pitches for a big ballpark, a really good team. And so far, 5 wins. The strikeouts are not there, but that's fine. You know why? Because he pitches in San Francisco. 3.83 ERA, that's respectable. 1.09 WHIP and the 2.92 strikeout per walk ratio, pretty respectable. Josh Hader is a guy that helped Aaron immensely last year. 11 saves, not a blown save to talk about. Lots of strikeouts, minuscule ERA and WHIP. Ryan Yarbrough, nice little wild card joker in terms of like if you're playing poker, joker. Um, let's see. Well, Matthew's asking, will Adam Duvall make it 3 in a row with multi home run games? I don't know. I don't care. I don't trust him. And the Marlins just they're getting a bunch of guys back. I think Sean mentioned that when we last talked about the Marlins a couple of weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. The Marlins are getting some players back, and guys like Garrett Cooper, and now they just called up Jesus. What the hell's his name? Was it Jesus Sanchez, the right fielder? They're highly touted prospect. So now I don't know. I feel like Adam Duvall's days are numbered as a regular starting outfielder. I don't want any part of Adam Duvall. I mean, I know people love him because he looks kind of barrel chested and he has lots of power, but I can't do it. Won't do it. Can't do it. I can't win with him. Let's see. Ryan Yarbrough, nice little wild card piece that she has there. Framber Valdez. I don't know. For some reason, the Statcast numbers don't like Framber Valdez, especially last year. But all he does is produce. So I'm done trying to figure out why Framber Valdez is so good. I think that's more of a Sean thing anyway. Jose Urquidy, another guy that I like. I think I had him early on in the season, but I had to drop him because he wasn't producing and my pitching was in shambles. And Aaron's like, all right, I'll take your sloppy thirds and fourths, whatever, because it's like my second. That would have been my second go round with Jose Urquidy, and it didn't work out. So, like I said, lots of interesting pieces. Richard Rodriguez, good, two blown saves already. JP Fighter Reason, 3 saves but 0 net saves, so 3 blown saves, 3 holds. Yeah, you know what, Aaron, go ahead and keep him around. I approve of you having the Rays JP Firereason, and I'm pretty sure I'm butchering that name as well. Yeah, I like that pickup right here. Just keep him around for the rest of the season. Him and his 1.46 strikeout per walk ratio. Giving her the thumbs up right here. Devin Williams. Yeah, that's just a little bit of I mean, the holds are there, but the ratios from last year are not. This guy was dominant in his rookie season last year with him and his monster changeup. But no, this year, there's another reason why Aaron's struggling a little bit. Kenta Maeda, again, I don't know what the deal is with him. I'm pretty sure he's been hurt, but yeah, he's at the bottom of the list here. Tony Gonsolin just came back, but he's been hurt. And even when he was healthy, he's not putting up good numbers. And then, yeah. So, like I said, there's a lot to like here on Aaron's team, but unfortunately, it's a lot of. I just feel like she has limited her upside with some of the players that she has. I don't know what again, I'm kind of flummoxed as to what she can do to improve it, but it seems like, again, safe floor does enough to keep her head above water, but can she find the right players to get to that, make that final step and take over first place? Because she's been close and she's currently a 3-game winning streak. So whatever she's doing is working. But I just feel like there's more problems that she's doing a good job of hiding. And eventually those problems are going to blow up and they're going to reveal themselves. But if Mookie Betts, it all depends on Mookie Betts. If Mookie Betts can play like the way he was playing last year at the MVP caliber level, then all this conversation is moot. I mean, he's been known to carry real baseball teams and fantasy teams as well. Over to the Will Ponzi's. That's Jacob's team, Moses, over at the Step Back Podcast. Let me go ahead and tag him. I'm going to be talking about his team in a little bit. They do a really good job over there at the Step Back Podcast. Basketball Life admin as well. He's 8-6, which is really surprising because every time I see him, he's always struggling. So what is he doing that's keeping him at 8-6? Well, as you can see, there you go. Well, Ponzi's Jacob's team. As you can see, since May 3rd, oh boy, that's really bad. He does a good job limiting strikeouts. He does get on base, decent average, middle of the pack in stolen bases, but everything else, the home runs, the RBI, triples, doubles, singles, just bad, really bad offense here. And we're going to take a look at it in just a moment. What about the pitching? Let's see here. We have decent pitchers. Not a lot of saves, not a lot of closers, but he does get the hold. So decent ratio. So I'm pretty sure that the bullpen is kind of keeping him above water and is kind of bailing him out in this league. So we'll take a look, and there it is. There's Team Will Ponzi's. You know what I don't use a lot of? I don't use the annotation button a lot. I'm going to use it. I'm going to do it. Just going to do it. Let's see here. I thought there was a highlighter. All right, I'll just circle. First and foremost, there's that's blue. Never mind. Let's clear the board. Let's see. Let's go with yellow. It was all yellow. It was all yellow. Your skin. Your skin and bones. 414 non-base percentage. Jesse Winker. I mean, he's the goods. Yuli Gurriel. He does enough to get by. I mean, this 309 average is not surprising. Ronald Acuna. I mean, come on. Ronald Acuna, 9 home runs, 7 stolen base net. Average is a little low, but the on base is high. That's good. Manny Machado. I mean, you got some big names here. Hunter Renfroe kind of been pretty good at 342 on base percentage. He supplies power. Dominic Smith, you guys know how much I like Dom Smith. The only thing I don't like about him is that he plays with the Mets and they're always loaded. Speaking of loaded, Pete Alonso's back. He's kind of off to a slow start. So that might explain why Team Jacob has been struggling lately. But let's see what else we got here. Oh, let me clear the drawings. Okay, so that's why I don't use the annotation button too much, because I have to constantly babysit it. Heimer Candelario, 349 on base. So that's pretty good. James McCann, he's kind of fallen off. He's kind of come down to earth after a really good start. Selling Castro, you all know how I feel about him. He sucks. Bryce Harper, he was hurt. Even when he was healthy, he was kind of struggling a little bit. Jorge Alfaro also been hurt, and he's actually done pretty well. But I wonder how much better his team, Jacob's team, would be doing if he didn't draft Jorge Alvaro so early. I'm still sticking to my guns. That's a bad draft pick for him, but at least he's producing. He still strikes out way too much. Jorge Alfaro, 18 strikeouts in. What the hell? That doesn't look right. No, 18 strikeouts and 63 plate at bats. That doesn't look right. That doesn't look right at all. What the hell is going on here? Jorge Alfaro? What? Patient Jorge Alfaro? I don't strike out that much, Jorge Alfaro? What the hell? What is this world coming to? Look over to the pitchers, and there it is. Zach Wheeler, Marcus Stroman, Taijuan Walker. So it's a hell of a trio here of guys who are helping Team Jacob stay above water here. There it is. I wanted to draw it right there. Casey Mize finally pitching up to expectations. Strikeouts aren't there, but that's okay. He's developing. So there's your high upside guy. Nick Pivetta sucks, though. So does Brady Singer. That's okay because he has other guys that he can count on. The bullpen, I think we mentioned there's nobody he can trust for saves except for Tyler Rogers. But Tyler Rogers is he's not the closer for the Giants. He's just a stand-in. I mean, the big thing for him is that he can get some holds and some decent what do you call it? Rate stats. I mean, the submarine pitcher, he could be very tricky, especially against right-handed batters, from what I remember. Yusmeiro Petit always brings the goods. 9 holds, decent whip, or actually really good whip. But yeah, there's nobody here. I mean, -2 saves from Juris Familia, but he's a Mets fan, so he's going to keep him around. He's still kind of waiting for Mike Soroka to come back. I think you can go ahead and give up on that dream. He's not coming back. So yeah, he has a nice collection of starting pitchers that can help him for the rest of the season. Kind of fluky to trust Taijuan Walker and Marcus Stroman, but at this point, just ride them for as long as you can. But you really got to improve on this Nick Pivetta and Brady Singer issue here. As I don't believe in those guys. I don't think they're gonna be there in the long run. So yeah, you need more pitchers. You don't have enough depth, and listen, man, 8-6, you're doing well. You've are scratching and clawing your way to the top. You're getting away from the bottom, but you got to help. You got to be able to help yourself, bro. You got to be able to help yourself. You got to be able to find other pitchers that are available that can provide some depth for you. Because yeah, if you're counting on Nick Pivetta and Brady Singer to complement your top 3 guys in Wheeler, Stroman, and Walker, you're in for a bad time. All right, and we're saving the best for last. Literally the best team in this league. And I'm going to go ahead and tag myself on the chat there just to make my presence felt. There you go, Felipe. And what was I talking about? The best team in the league. It's your boy, Framil Muertes, your host of this, and your only host here at the Total Basis Podcast for today. Felipe, number 1 in the hood, G. Number 1 in the Roto standings. Yeah. Number 1. since May 3rd, I'm the only guy with double-digit wins. Everybody else in this league can suck a big one. I have the most points. I know I did struggle a little bit. My offense struggle in my game against who the hell did I lose to? I think I lost to Henry because of the tiebreaker. But even when I'm losing, I'm in games. I'm not getting blown out. 10-4. Only guy with double-digit wins since May 3rd. I am killing it in the Roto standings. Like Sean is a distant second at this point. It's really a two-person race in terms of the standings since May 3rd. In terms of the Roto standings, I'm the only guy with 200. I'm the only team with 200 plus points. Let's take a look. Why? Let's see what a real team looks like. Right? Runs, home runs. I got 10 points for triples. I don't even have enough guys who are fast enough to get me 10 points in triples. 10 points in RBI. Middle of the pack in walks and strikeouts. I'm punting stolen bases. I got off to a good start, but when I lost Luis Robert for this season, or not for the season, but for the majority of the season, I figured that I was not going to be able to get this producing the stolen bases. I also lost Ramon Laureano, who was also getting me some stolen bases. Just a lot of injuries on my offense, and that's what's causing the low stolen bases. But even then, I was already capped in terms of stolen bases anyway to begin with, so I'm not surprised that I'm in dead last. But that's what happens. I purposely punted the statistic, and these are the results. Batting average and on base percentage. Come on, I don't know how my team is always struggling when I'm always at the top of the leaderboard of these offensive categories, but it seems like every other period my offense is just slumping, and it's just very frustrating. So that must mean my pitching is keeping me well above water. And sure enough, I'm at the top of the league in wins, strikeout per walk, saves, holds, ERA. I do give up too much home runs, but that's okay because my ERA, whips, and on-base percentage against are freaking amazing. God, this team's so good. Look at that. Vladimir Guerrero, 100 score. I think that's the only 100 score we've seen so far as of May 3rd. I have the best player in the league. That's right. Vladimir Guerrero, like father, like son. Happy Father's Day. 408 on base percentage, 16 home runs. Oh, man. Don't you people feel stupid for letting him fall to me? Jorge Polanco has been trying to keep me above water here. As he's was a waiver wire pickup, so yeah, it's shame on me for my other player. I told you guys my offense is struggling, so I got to do what I got to do to keep it above water here. And he's been kind of my de facto stolen base guy, but as you guys can see, -1 from Rafael Devers, -2 from Juan Soto. So whatever Jorge Polanco is doing, they get offset by those two guys who I have no idea why they're running so much. But yeah, Rafael Devers, he's been struggling all late, but he's my third best player. So 325. So I told you guys my offense has been struggling lately. And when Rafael Devers is my third best player, I can see why my team struggles a lot and why they're in trouble. Nick Castellanos also has been struggling, but since May 3rd, he's been trying to help and do his part to keep my team above water. Only 4 home runs, though, since May 3rd. I mean, it's not the 10 home runs that Devers has been hitting or the 16 home runs that Vladimir Guerrero has been hitting. So Nick Castellanos needs to pick up the slack there. Juan Soto, man, if Juan Soto can just put things together, and this league's in trouble if Juan Soto all of a sudden becomes my number 1 or number 2 hitter. But it's the only thing that's keeping this league interesting is that Juan Soto has not taken this season by the horns and just dominated like he did last year. So I'm just kind of waiting. Max Muncy got off to a really putrid start, and he has kind of bounced back, but now he's hurt now on the IL, of course. Everybody on my goddamn team is on the IL. Yandy Diaz, I know that's a favorite of Sean. I had to pick him up to help me at third base a little bit because Devers struggling a little bit. Anthony Rizzo, he's fine. He'll be fine. I know he's been striking out a lot lately, but he'll be okay. Andrew Benintendi has been a godsend off the waiver wire. High batting average. He supplies the singles for me because I don't have a lot of I have too many power guys, but not enough punch and Judy guys. This is the complete opposite of Sean's team. So Jonathan Daza, another guy, another punch and Judy hitter, 360 batting average. He's been a godsend off the waiver wire. 0 home runs, but 33 singles. We do keep track of singles. So another punch and Judy hitter for me. So I'm surprised Sean didn't pick him up first. And here's a guy, Gary Sanchez. I know Sean is if he were here, he would be poo-pooing all over him. But Sanchez, 341 on base percentage. That's fine with me, man. 9 home runs since May 3rd. He's doing enough to be relevant with the 65 score. I think JT Realmuto, who I think is the best offensive catcher in all of baseball, he's only at 68. So Sean Murphy as well as 65. Yeah, he's been really bad, but that's fine. He gets all the playing time that he can handle. That's all I'm really at this point. That's all I'm asking is I'm asking for some production and to have your name penciled in every single day or for as many games as possible. Gleyber Torres, if Gleyber Torres can just hit like the way I know that he can hit, this league is in trouble. So it's the only thing that's keeping this league fair and balanced is my top guys are struggling to dominate this league. Otherwise, it'd be a laugher right now. I'd be lapping this freaking league so hard and so fast and so furious. Again, look at my pitchers. Kevin Gossman, 99.88. I warned you guys. I told you guys. You all made fun of me at the draft when I said that I drafted him over some of the more established starting pitchers. And look at him. He's my best pitcher, and I'm okay with that because Lucas Giolito is my second best pitcher. That's okay. Lucas Giolito is finding himself. He's trying to find the command of that the changeup. And it looks like he finally is getting it together. He's been pitching a lot better of late with a 3.18 ERA and a 0.98 whip, 62 strikeouts per 51 innings. I mean, and even Kevin Gossman, 63 strikeouts in 50 innings and this lofty 7.88 strikeout per walk ratio. I mean, that's a hell of a 1-2 punch. Liam Hendricks pitching up to his big contract that he got this offseason. 27 strikeouts in 18 innings, 13.5 strikeout per walk ratio, 13 saves, 1 ERA. I mean, Rich Hill has also come in and has been very admirable off the waiver wire. So he's another steady arm I use. Tariq Skubal, a guy that I liked coming into the season, has just been magnificent. Joe Musgrove got a no-hitter earlier this season, and it looks like he's finally back. He fell off the tracks a little bit early, sometime in May, I believe, but he's finally back on the track, and he's looking good as ever. Alex Cobb, he's on the team because I needed a spot starter this weekend because I didn't have any starts, and the Angels were facing the Tigers, and Cobb has been doing pretty damn good lately as well. The only thing I don't like about Cobb and the rest of the Angels starting pitchers is that they only pitched they have 6 starting pitchers, so it's like it feels like it takes Cobb forever to get his turn back on the rotation, which really sucks, but it might explain why he's been doing so well this year. I also got Patrick Sandoval again, just needed a fill in. He's been doing decent of late. I don't know if he's a long-term solution, but short term he's pretty damn good. Ryan Tepera, once I got Ryan Tepera, that kind of solved all my problems in terms of the holds because I was struggling to find holds. Guys who I drafted because I thought they were going to be late inning relief guys like Emmanuel Clase and Alex Taylor Rogers. They have been put in on the closer's role and not been given the opportunities to get the holds. But that's okay. Ryan Tepera was just sitting there on the waiver wires. I picked them up. A little bit of a homer pick for me. But when you're this damn good, I'll be the biggest homer that you'll find, even though today I am wearing my White Sox hat, as you guys can see. So I'll go ahead, give it the old Fernando Rodney treatment right there. The old, although if I want to be Pedro Strop, I just tilt it this way. But no, I want to be Fernando Rodney today. That's the reason why I wear my hat all crooked. Oh, boy, we're almost done here. So, yeah, so it looks like my pitching is finally coming. It's finally getting, living up to the potential. This is the way I envision this pitching team to look. Clase is still struggling, but there's no way on God's green earth I'm cutting him. A guy with the 100-mile-per-hour fastball and the 100-mile-per-hour cutter, it's going to have to translate soon. All these bad numbers are going to turn into good numbers. You'll see. I don't even care if he's closing or not. If he could just go in there in the 7th, 8th inning and just shut down the door as a late inning relief pitching assassin and get me those holds, that's worth it. That would be worth it so much. And the best part is that that's one of Sean's guys, and I have him all to myself. And I can only imagine how pissed off Sean's going to be when he finds when Clase puts it all together and it begins to produce for me in the way that I know he can produce for me. And Sean will just have to sit there and just observe from afar. And it's going to be great. Colin McHugh I also picked up recently. Again, I picked up because I didn't have enough starting pitchers this weekend. And I think he just came off a relief stint where he got three innings pitched, 3 strikeouts, and just shut the door on whatever team he was facing. So, and that's it. There is your player evaluation and your team evaluation, your progress reports midway through the Baseball Life Fantasy baseball season. So with all that being said, let's take a look at the year-to-date standings. So I'm in first place since May 3rd, but in the actual standings, there it is. Sean in first place, not surprising, in the middle of a 4-game winning streak. It doesn't have as many points as I do, but still, he's he's firing on all cylinders. I'm in second, tied with Aaron. I just lost to her recently as well. I'm part of that 3-game winning streak that she's undergoing. We talked about smoking aces. It might be more lucky than good, but it doesn't matter. I'll just win, baby. He's in fourth place. He's been also threatening to get that first place spot. And then here's, oh God, well, it's a lot worse than I imagined. Mike, who got out to a really amazing start, but we saw his team and it looks like it's more fluke than actual good. In the middle of a 5-game losing streak, but he got off to such a good start that he's still in fifth place. And then we talked about some of these other teams, right? And let's take a quick look. Jacob's team looks like the arrow is pointing up, but if he wants to get to that next level, he needs a lot of work to get done in terms of that pitching staff. I mean, the offense, it looks like he has enough depth to kind of survive, but the pitching, it's only a matter of time before the whole is going to be released, and it can make or break his season. So in order to prevent that from happening, he needs to start prioritizing the rotation there. Let's see here. I'm just kind of fiddling around. Oh, never mind. I don't like that. It's an arrow pointing down. I'm trying to find if there's an arrow pointing up on the thing. Maybe. Let's see. No, that's 2 arrows. It's like 2 chains, but it's arrows. Anything else? Nope. All right, we'll just have to draw it in, right? So I'll give Jacob a big arrow up. Big Dinger energy. I like his team. A lot of the players that are on his team are on my points league, but I don't feel as good about his team, and he's on a 3-game losing streak as well. So it looks like the bottom's starting to fall out on the poor guy's team. I mean, I don't know what he can do to. I wonder what can he do to right the ship, and I'm kind of flabbergasted. I'm at loss. I'm just glad that my team's not doing as bad as his team. So I mean, he's 500, but I just feel like the arrow is pointing down for him. Henry, our fearless leader, he's 10-12. He's 2 games below 500, but I think the arrow is pointing up on him. Mario, I'm always afraid of him because he's so damn good. He is an expert. I don't know if he's not paying attention or if he's just being ultra patient, but I'm gonna give him an arrow up because he does have some potency on some of those players that we talked about. But it's getting to that point of the season where he's going to have to make some decisions, some very tough decisions. Because as he explained here way before, he loves the players that he drafts. He spends all off season just working on the draft, and he gets attached to the players that he drafts. So he's, like I said, just from playing with him, he's very patient. He treats his fantasy teams like 401ks, but it's going to come a matter of time where he's going to look at the team, he's going to make evaluations, and he's going to start making tough decisions and start acquiring more players off waiver wire. And then that's when all of us are in deep trouble. So, James, I'm sorry, dude. I got to give you the arrow down. Matthew, I think you're beating me this week, but I don't even know if you're going to reach your innings minimum limits. So I'm going to point the arrow down. And I think I'm going to give Jet the benefit of the doubt. I don't think he's the worst team in the league, despite the fact that the record shows that he is. But yeah, he needs to, I don't know. If he could just get better players off waiver wires and not, because he has a lot of crappy players. I don't know he's on a 5-game losing streak, but I think his team's a little bit better than what it shows right now. I just don't know I don't know. I think he's grown attached to some of the players that he's picked up recently, and if he just get rid of some of that trash that he has, I think he can move up the standings in a hurry. And there's a reason why he ended up being the second best team last year, the runner-up to the championship in last year's season. As you guys can hear, my throat is dry. This coffee's dehydrating. Let me take one more sip for the road. That's damn good. All right, so what else did okay, let's see. Yeah, so like I said, Leon and I recapped their league back on May 2nd. So I decided that we should just, for Father's Day, and we are midway through the season, we'll recap the season so far at the midway point. And I'm just double checking to see if I covered everything. Yeah, I covered that. I just wanted to share a quote from Neil Payne of 538, right? Uh, and this is a quote from him, and we'll finish with this. The point at which a team's performance half reflects luck and half reflects its talent, so meaning half skill, half luck, in Major League Baseball is 67 games. Well, in Major League Baseball, we're only 41% of the season in, but there are a lot of teams have played well over 67 games, except maybe for the Mets, who are only at 63 or 64 games. But we are at that point. So I'm looking to see maybe as we get closer to that 50% mark, we'll see how the real Major League Baseball teams are doing and how our predictions, our Major League Baseball teams, our predictions are doing. But 67 games basically is suggesting that we can now tell who's real and who's not at this point, especially with the rosters the way that they're intact right now. Are the Yankees real? Or are they this bad? Well, 67 games is enough to make an evaluation. So we'll see what Brian Cashman and company do in terms of trying to improve the stock of that team. Because we talk about it all the time. There's a lot of talent on the Yankees team, right? But 37-33, 6-4 in their last 10 games though. But is that their destiny just to squeak by and make a fight for a wild card? Is that who they are in real life, or can they be better than this? And right now, after 67 plus games, it looks like they're just good enough to make a wild card, and that's it. Which sucks because I predicted them to go to the World Series this year, and it looks like they have their work cut off for them. And they're in a very tough division with the Red Sox and the Tampa Rays. But that brings up the other questions: are the Red Sox this good? According to that theory by Neil Payne of 538.com, they just might be that good after 67 plus games. Luck and skill is combining for Boston to have a first place team so far this year. White Sox, the same thing with the White Sox, 43-28. Are they really that good? Based on, how much of it is luck and how much of it is skill? Well, at this point, it doesn't matter. 67 plus games shows that they have enough combination of good luck and good skill to be this good. So we'll see. It's a lot of season left to go. We're not even at the halfway point yet. But like I said, I just wanted to share that little quote with you and see if you guys agree or disagree with that. Is 67 games enough of an evaluation from a luck and skill standpoint to make an evaluation on these teams? So something for you guys to chat about throughout the day. But again, Flying Solo is me, Felipe. Check out the other podcasts. I've been on this for long enough. You guys know where the podcast is. So I do apologize for my podcast, Brethren Bear. But I want to get this. I want to go and celebrate with my family Father's Day. I think I've been here 2 hours is long enough. So on behalf of myself, I will see you guys next time. Thank you all for joining me today. Have a good one, everybody. And happy Father's Day one more time.